Hello YouTube, back once again with my film reviews, and tonight I saw the new movie, The Big Short, and my god was this movie fantastic. This movie, for those who don't know, this is a movie about the financial crisis of 2007 when the economy completely collapsed because of the housing market scandal, this film, it's three different stories about three different groups of people who realized that the economy was built on, well, that at least the housing market at least was built on bad loans, so it was destined to crash eventually. And they shorted stocks against the housing market because, for those who don't know, when you short a stock, you're basically betting that something will fail, and it did. And these were people who became millionaires off of it, and so that's the plot of this movie. Let's get to the good and bad of this movie. Well, the cast of this movie was amazing in this film, just fantastic. The three separate stories. One story is Christian Bale and Christian Bale only. Christian Bale just as good as he always is, playing in this film a very eccentric and bizarre. I forget what you call those guys. Was he a stockbroker? Was he a loan investor advisor? I don't know. I'm not sure I'm not sure what he was exactly, but he was as the first guy who figures out that the housing market was built on bad loans. He was just amazing. He came off as so enjoyably. He came off as just so odd, and you just such an underdog that nobody likes, that you just always felt so happy. There's all these great scenes when he first realizes that the economy, that it's built on bad loans, when he goes to all these different banks, basically asking to short stocks against them that the market will fail. And these people, at first there wasn't even a way to short stocks. They actually had to make it a way for this to happen for this guy. I forget what the guy's real name is, but and it's just such a satisfying feeling when they're the people are just saying you're kidding me, right? We'll take your money, but you know what you're getting into here, right? He's just yes, I do. And then just see him leave, and just see these people start laughing at him, just what you know is gonna end up happening. How this guy's completely right, and how all his co-workers and all his co-workers and basically everyone he knows is basically just saying you are out of your goddamn mind, you're an idiot. And he's just no, I'm completely right on this, you're just gonna have to trust me. And Christian Bale, Christian Bale, just such a great actor. That though, the second story though, the cast of that one, Ryan Gosling was great in this movie, being a very smug, very rude, condescending banker. He even says in the beginning of the movie, I'm not one of the people who was able to realize that this market was bad. That was these other people. He even says at one point, why are you looking so condescending at me? I never said I was the hero of this movie, of this story. He is just so wonderfully smug in this movie. He was, you ever saw Crazy Stupid Love? That's the best way I can describe him. Just how smug he was toward, and condescending he was towards Steve Carell in that movie. Just think that, because Ryan Gosling, he was fantastic in this film. Speaking of Steve Carell, this, I think he was the highlight of acting in this movie. Steve Carell continuing to prove that he can be more than just a bizarre, funny man. He is fantastic in this movie. It's not it's not like he's giving a performance, a serious performance on in the way he did with last year's Foxcatcher, in which it was a very serious performance that you're not supposed to find funny. No, he's hysterical in this movie, Steve Carell, but he's not. It's not because he's an odd guy. It's just he's such an angry guy who just always keeps telling people what idiots they are, and how telling these bankers he's talking to that know they're giving bad loans, that you're just the worst fucking people ever. And he is just amazing, Steve Carell, and he's hilarious. There's a hilarious scene when he's talking to someone who's talking to someone I forget what they're called, or what's it called exactly, the people who gave like a percentage for like how good a loan, like a bond was, like I'm not sure what you call those people. Basically, and like it turned out they were committing fraud, like they were selling higher percentage for value, and then just like the woman there's like, you can't blame us, you were paying us, like, what, and then Secret's like, well, what are you? Are you blaming mommy and daddy for giving you money to do something stupid? Like, I thought that was he's just hilarious, Steve Carell in this movie, just yeah, just Steve Carell, probably the best acting in this movie. I'm really glad he's getting considered for an Academy Award nomination, because this was just fantastic performance from him. Also, so yeah, Steve Carell and Ryan Gosling, they were the second story, and the third story, one being Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt was great in this movie. He being a very subdued ex business investor who's approached by two younger investors who want to be cute, or stock investors who like also realize about the market, played by Finn Wittrock from American Horror Story and John Magaro. I hope I'm saying those names right. Those two were great. Those two were great playing off one another. They do definitely seem like a real partnership that start off on the bottom and have been working their way up. They were just so wonderful. They were both fantastic. That and Brad Pitt, though, I really like Brad Pitt. This is definitely one of the more subdued performance he's ever given, and he did a great job in it. So all the acting is so wonderful in this movie. There is not a single actor I did not like. There's also some great supporting work from Rafe Spall, Jeremy Strong, and Marissa Tomei. They all do a great job. So acting is fantastic in this movie, but that's not what this movie. This movie's not just about the acting, though. It's also about the subject material. And what I gotta give this movie so much credit for just being able to. This movie takes a good amount of time just to explain how this all worked, how this entire scam worked, and how it all came crashing down, and they do a great job explaining it. Like, even Ryan Gosling says at the end, like, you probably say you know how it all worked to make yourself sound smart, like, let me explain it to you here. And it's hilarious because he actually brings in celebrities make guest appearances to explain how things work. Like, the first one's like, now if you don't know what this is, here's Margot Robbie in a bathtub drinking champagne to explain it for you. It's hilarious, just for the fact it is Margot Robbie just like sitting in a tub, just explaining what these things mean to you. And I give this movie so much credit because it was a very complicated scam. This, and like just explaining how all the all the small parts worked, and even though it did get somewhat confusing at times, but not too confusing that you're just completely lost. You're kind of like, I get the basic idea of how this works. So there is. So I give this movie so much credit for being, while also keeping it entertaining, like able to explain like this very complicated subject. Good on the movie for that. And I give this movie credit for making just such a dark subject material, just a material that just ruined so many people's lives. Just so funny in this movie. This movie's hilarious in a good part of it, and it does get dramatic. Don't add like it's not like it's only like they're like laughing at people. No, there's so many good dramatic moments, but it's also dramatic moments, but there's also so many funny moments in this movie. Like Steve Carell's just like I said, Steve Carell's just hysterical in this movie. And pretty much everyone else is like one of my favorite scenes. Like there's like great scenes like when these people like when they're betting against the housing market, and when it's the housing market keeps going up even in early 2007, even though they're like, wait, but everything these loans are built, all these things are built off of are failing. So technically, by all means, if something that's built on something is failing, then that thing should also fail. But so then it's funny when like they go to a Vegas convention of all the people who sell the bonds, and like both Finn Wittrock and John Magaro are like, do these guys just not know something that we know? And then, when they just start, asking around, they're like, no, they don't know anything. These guys are just idiots. They have no idea what they're doing. So yeah, it's really really funny in this movie. Steve Carell's, like I said, Steve Carell's hilarious. The entire cast is just hysterical in this film, and but especially Steve Carell. So I give this movie so much credit. I also love the fact that this is a biopic, and some of my favorite things about this movie is actually the actors start turning to the camera and just saying, "Okay, this did actually really happen this way." Like there's a scene like the way Finn Wittrock's and John Magaro's characters learn about the how the housing market's going to fail, like the two of them, like they're like sitting like inside like a Wall Street office, and then like they see like a pamphlet on the like someone who wrote something, well, what Christian Bale wrote, like I think it was supposed to be Christian Bale wrote it. Like basically like, this giant thing about like why the housing market's going to fail, and then like just like Finn Wittrock just like looks at it, was like, okay, we didn't really find out about it this way. What really happened was that's amazing that this biopic admits when it's just making stuff up to be more cinematic, and that's just fantastic. That's great, and so there's that, and so I love that, and I also love the fact that this movie, even though it's not very condescending, except for Ryan Gosling, but that's the joke, it kind of makes, it's really, even though it's dark, it does just kind of make you look at, like, look at this situation, just go, like, can you believe this actually happened? And the answer is, yes, this did happen. All of this happened. And we let this happen. Like, there's, like, so many effective scenes, like, of just you looking, like, how did these people, like, either people not knowing any better, or like how did they not know any better, or like how are these people so greedy and so dirty they would be willing to let this happen, like there's like a great scene, like it's like really funny, but it's also like really dark, like when like Steve Carell's like talking to a stripper, and then is like talking to a stripper, and then he's just like talking to her about her mortgages, because he wants to get information about all this, trying to figure out if this really is a bubble, and then he's like, wait, so you have this for your one house? And he's just like, no, I have three houses and one condo. He's just like, wait, what? Like like there's that, like there's a scene like where Steve Carell like approaches two bankers who are basically saying like, oh yeah, like we all immigrants want a house, like we don't even like usually, like we usually just like leave like the mortgage loan like blank, like they're like the income or the job, but we just like hand it, like sell it to higher bank, the higher ups, and then Steve Carell just like turns to like his business partner and just being like, can he, like, why are they confessing this to us? And then Steve Carell's like worker is like, they're not confessing, they're bragging about this to us, like that, like it's just like you're almost like, how did this happen? How was everyone like this corrupt and this naive about it? And it just, the fact is a lot of people were, and it is. I give this movie a lot of credit for basically just saying, can you believe this actually happened? So there's that. And I also give this movie credit for, like I said, if you were worried this movie could come off as too much, the characters in this film could come off a bit too much like hypocrites, because I tell you, you're rooting for all these characters because they all are certainly underdogs, with a lot of people just telling them they're freaking idiots, with them just with you just are like, oh no, they're all so right, and you're rooting for them. And you could also make the argument that they're being kind of hypocrites for the fact they're trying to make money off of this failure. But I give this movie credit because like at first it starts that way, like when they like first start to realize like this is a bubble, we're gonna become millionaires off of this. Basically Steve they just start realizing though, but wait, the entire world economy, our nation's economy at least, is built off the housing market. Like this is going to crash, and so many people are going to suffer from it. It's like, we're going to become rich, but so many people are going to suffer. And I give this movie credit for like not shying away from the fact that these characters were these people probably were like, wait, like we're about to become millionaires, and so many people are going to, like, lives are going to go to hell because of this. Like, there's a great scene like when the market starts to fail, like when Steve Carell Steve Carell like doesn't want to sell the shorts yet because he wants to see the bank suffer at first because he just can't believe what they did. So and he like basically and he just like yells at all the like people at Wall Street and the banks like this is fraud. Like if you try to build off fraud, eventually it will all come crashing down. When did we forget about this? And so yeah, I give this just don't think that these are these characters are hypocrites. They're not. They do make it very clear that a lot of these think about the greater good. So, well, not the greater good, just think about things being better. So, and finally, the last thing I want to say about the script is this is the way the film ends. And if you don't want to know how it ends, feel free. Like, just like going to the like always like how did this happen? Just like showing like the people who really suffered. There's just a great line near the end when Steve Carell's workers are just saying like, okay, Steve Carell, we gotta sell all our shorts right now. Like it's now or never. We can sell them for 1.2 billion. We'll all clear 200 million from it. And then Steve Carell's just like, you know what's going to happen? And then he's seeing at the same time that the bankers are being bailed out by the government. These banks that let this all happen, who almost knew, most of them knew, the higher ups knew what was going to happen. Like they, like there's a great like there's like speaking like there's sorry before I get my point about the ending. Like there's a great scene like when Christian Bale's like. Christian Bale, like, when he first starts, like, saying to, like, asking for, like, his money from all of the, banks he shorted against who thought he was crazy and, like, an idiot, like, but they're basically, like, all, like, they're all being like, no, like, all our stuff is fine, our prices remain stable, they're basically committing fraud, just keeping the price down, he's just basically like, no, it's not, because you know why? Every single thing it's built off of is worthless now. That's what you're trying to sell is worthless. It just shows how corrupt this whole system was, and but yeah, the ending though, just when, and then like the banks were bailed out, like they're just like seeing at the end when Steve, like I said, the scene at the end, Steve Carell is just saying like, just like the government's gonna bail them out, like. No one in the banks, these essentially criminals, like essentially criminals, like they're not going to be sent to prison, and they're not going to be sent to prison. Like the government won't break up the big banks, and in a few years we'll blame the bad economy on the poor and the immigrants, and then it's just hysterical, but also really dark when Ryan Gosling then just starts like narrating. He's like, but Steve Carell's character was wrong. I think his name was Burry something. I think that was what the guy's name was. It was wrong. In the years to come, the government did break up big banks. Hundreds of corrupt bankers went to jail, and none of this. I'm just kidding with you. And then everything is right. He even says that only one banker went to jail. Like. These essentially criminals, only one went to jail. It was the American taxpayer who had to pay for this. They had to pay the government to bail out these people who screwed the government, screwed the economy, and screwed the common man. And especially nowadays with the whole immigrant thing, with a lot of like not just being like the argument against ISIS that a lot of them could be ISIS, but like also that they would mess with our economy. It was the Americans who ruined the economy. It was the corrupt Americans who brought it to us to our heels. And, yeah, so this is a really actually important movie to watch, especially in this day and age, with the political climate of today. So, yeah, I could talk about this movie probably for another hour. There was so many great scenes and great thoughts this movie brought up. But I'm going to end my review here. So, The Big Short gets a very solid and very enthusiastic 5 out of 5 for me. This is one of the best movies of the year. I love this movie. Go see it if you can. It comes with my highest recommendation. I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite movie of the year. I still think Room is. I'd say this is probably my second favorite movie of the year at the moment. And, yeah, go see this movie. And don't think you're going to be really miserable sitting through it. It's a hilarious movie, or don't think you're going to be confused by it. It's going to explain everything to you fantastically. So, yeah. YouTube, as always, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.